name's Asexual and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post videos. Yes, I share videos about asexual life, dating, relationships, friendships, self-worth, self-love, you name it, it's here on Asexualise, my asexual life. So in a moment, I'm going to be revealing how I stopped severe rib pain in just 3 days. It's pretty much a miracle. I tried something that I'm guessing most people wouldn't think about doing, wouldn't do, and they wouldn't be prepared to do it, think about doing it, or do it, basically. So there's going to be 5 things that I'm going to be talking to you about, but one of them is a bit of a shocker. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book, and also author of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook, out on Amazon. So yes, let's get down to business. So if you didn't already know, I've had a respiratory / chest infection for about 6 weeks now. I've just kind of like coughed. Thank you for the thumbs up. Lots of love to you. Yesterday, I believe, was the last time I coughed my last little bit up. I haven't coughed anything up today. I'm really happy about that. So yeah, so if you didn't know, if you didn't watch the previous videos, or maybe you did, you might know, then on Sunday I ended up in A&E. And so it was really bad what happened, because I had severe rib pain. So through all the coughing that I've been doing over the 6-week period, I had severe rib pain. It was to the point where every time I actually breathed in, it would feel like not only had I got a knife between my ribs, because that was a permanent ongoing thing, it would also feel like someone had cut me with some glass. And it was an absolutely horrible, horrible feeling. And just every time I breathed in, I would get that feeling. So it would feel like someone stabbed me with a knife, and then it's literally cutting me every time I'm trying to breathe in with some glass. It was just horrible. I didn't know what to do. I was in absolute pain, agony. It really felt like I cracked my ribs, fractured my ribs. Night I couldn't sleep properly. It was dreadful. And if you didn't know the story, I end up in a COVID hot room when I don't have COVID. And I couldn't wait to get the hell out there, because a woman in the same room as me was diagnosed with COVID. And they put me in that room, and they should never have done it, because I don't have COVID. I've never had COVID, and to put my life in jeopardy like that was disgusting. But there you go. So when the doctor finally came and saw me and said, yeah, you've got, he understood my story, that I haven't got COVID, that I've been coughing because of the respiratory / chest infection, and that all the coughing had damaged my muscles. He said it's a muscle thing. He doesn't think it's fractured. Glad you're feeling better, sweetheart. So sorry you were feeling so bad. Sounds horrible. Lots of love, Liam. Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. It was really, 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 really horrible. Really horrible, to go in the COVID hot room as well. It's just like I was in absolute shock. Luckily the doctor came and let me go, so I didn't have to stay in there any longer, and said it was a muscle thing, and my fibromyalgia was making it 10 times worse. So I know this video is a little bit different to what I usually do, because I wouldn't usually talk about stuff that helps me to get better, but I thought it's just because I love sharing my asexual life, and I thought it might help someone else. But I don't think people would do the last thing that was the thing that actually I believe worked and solved the problem. But it's something that most people would not think about doing, wouldn't consider doing, and even if they were told it would work, probably wouldn't do it, right? But I thought to myself, I've got to get myself better as quick as possible, because I don't want to end up at A&E again, because that was dreadful. Being in that situation, a COVID hot room, with someone who's just been diagnosed with COVID. I'm not vaccinated because I can't have the vaccine. I've got too many allergies. I'm unmasked, and I've kept myself free from COVID so far. I don't want to get it. Free so far, and looked after myself really well. And to be in a room with that, I mean, when I came home, I have to tell you first of all, when I came home from that situation, I literally put all my clothes in black plastic sacks ready to be washed. And I went in the shower and I got antibacterial soap, which is 99.9% kills all bacteria. and I showered myself in this soap from head to foot, including all over my hair. It's a hand soap I use for my hands usually, but I did all my hair, all my face. I'm usually really allergic to stuff, but I'm like, just do it, Sandra, because I wanted to make sure I cleansed every bit of like potential like COVID stuff off me. I mean, the doctor and the nurse that was there was masked and got apron on and stuff, but the doctor, like who had to touch my pressure points, he don't think he had gloves on. So, did doctors know putting you in a COVID hot room? Um, I was in the hot room. The doctor came and saw me in the hot room. So, I explained what happened on Sunday. But to give you a brief overview, I've told you about all the pain I was in. So the triage nurse saw me and assessed me, and then I got taken to this room and I got handed over to this woman that looked like a nurse, but I wasn't told who the woman was. I wasn't told what she was going to do to me or what was the next thing that I had to do. But a triage nurse is who you see in the UK before you see a doctor. And so anyway, I went and she took me in this room, and then this woman who I think was a nurse, I didn't even get introduced to her, started getting blankets out to make up a bed for me and say, oh, we've got to hook you up to a monitor now and take blood tests. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? I'm like, I don't like blood tests. I don't have them usually. My mum has to come literally to the doctors with me if I have that. I've got a phobia of needles and blood. I can't have it. I've had like one blood test in like years. Like was it a year before? Was it last year before last? Yeah, my mum had to come to me that. And I usually pass out nearly as well, especially if I haven't got food on me. So yeah, that was like, and then she's like, oh, so you don't want them? And I'm like, no. And then I'm like, but I don't know what's going on. I said, because, I said I came here thinking I was going to have a chest X-ray or a rib X-ray, and I don't understand why I'm in this room, and I'm here. And she's like, oh, this is a COVID hot room, and I'm like, what? She's like, it's and I'm like, but I don't have COVID. I've never had COVID. I've done all the tests. Every test has been negative. I did a PCR test before Christmas. That's negative. I did a test the day before I was there at 8 a.m. That was negative. I don't have COVID. So I said, I don't know why I'm here. And so anyway, she goes, oh, the doctor will have to assess you. And then when the doctor came into the room, he went to this woman first, and because she'd had problems with severe abdominal pain, which was something to do with her not going to the toilet, basically, having a full bladder, that's what he said, and some other stuff about her blood test coming back. And then he said, and she's like, the patient said, oh, well, at least I haven't got the virus. And they're like, no, the doctor said, you have got the virus, you have got COVID, you've definitely got that. The test results showed you're positive for COVID. And then after the doctor went to her, in the same room as me, this is, but diagonally opposite, like opposite side of the room. I'm sat here and the woman's like over in the corner there. But all that's separating is like a curtain, and there's curtains either side of me. And then he came over to me, and then I made him listen to my whole story of what's happened over the 6 weeks. So he knew that I was, that I hadn't got COVID. I had to stress that I'm well used to blood tests so much it doesn't hurt anymore. Oh, I can't stand it. But there was no need for me to have blood tests anyway, because basically they were going to treat me as if I had COVID. I haven't got COVID, so there was no need for blood tests. So if she'd have done the blood test, it was totally unnecessary. I didn't need to be hooked up to a monitor. I didn't need to stay in a bed there. I didn't need to have any blood tests because I hadn't got COVID. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. And it's very scary being in a COVID hot room when you haven't got COVID and a woman's just been diagnosed with it and the doctor comes to you after her. It's like one of the most scariest blooming things in my life. It's like a horror movie, because there was curtains either side of me and I'm like, shh. What happens if there's more COVID patients coming here? I'm going to be surrounded by COVID people, and I hadn't got it. I've purposely kept myself well. All I thought I was going for is literally an X-ray. That's all I thought I was going to the hospital for, not to be put in this hot room with people who've actually got it, And so when he came over to me, I explained the whole situation. I was very firm with him because I'm a very strong person, especially lately. I'm more stronger again because I'm single and not dating and relationship stuff, and I'm building my confidence back, and I'm just a lot more stronger person, now. And this guy was a younger foreign guy, actually. So I do like younger foreign guys. I'm very good at talking to them. I don't accept rubbish. And so anyway, he was a doctor, but I was being very firm in my voice, literally saying to him, thanks for the thumbs up. Like, this is what happened. Like 6 weeks ago, I went out clubbing, and then 2 days later, I got what I thought was a respiratory infection. I'm coughing up brown stuff. I'm coughing up green stuff. And I'm given 2 lots of antibiotics. Like, one lot didn't work, so they give me another lot. And then time passed, and then before Christmas I still wasn't better, and I had a higher than normal, faster than normal heartbeat, a bit of fever, so my temperature was higher than normal, and there was still some infection in my lungs, and I got told it was a chest infection then. And then so they gave me antibiotics, but I was in rib pain then before Christmas. And then on Christmas Day I was coughing lots, because I think my parents had the window shut. They actually didn't have totally they didn't have all the windows shut. There was one slightly open, but I was just coughing a lot that day. And and then New Year's Day, when I was over my parents, before I even went there, I was in absolute agony. Like, I could barely like tie my shoelaces, was agony. And just doing, like, going in the shower was agony. It took me ages to have a shower. And when I was breathing in, I felt like a knife had been put in my ribs and someone was holding it there and stabbed me with it, like voodoo doll. I don't believe in voodoo dolls, or I don't think about stuff like that, but it literally felt like someone, I got walking around with a knife in between my ribs. And then on the day after New Year's Day, on the Sunday, I developed a problem where, when I was breathing, every time I breathed in, I don't know if I did have a bit on New Year's Day as well, but I think it was mostly the day after, because it got worse. Every time I breathed in, it was more painful. It was like a sharp pain. So I had the stabbing pain, like a knife was in me, and then it felt like someone was getting glass and cutting me as well at the same time as the knife in me. This is the pain. This is how it felt to me. It was awful. And there was some patients in the waiting room, and it was just awful, because the NHS seems to be so bad over here these days with prioritising urgent cases. You all had to wait your turn, which you could say is fair, but when there's a couple of people that I think's in serious need of a medical emergency more than me and other people in there, I think they should have been seeing them. One woman came in, and literally her horse had fell on her, because she came off her horse, and the horse fell on her, and then the horse trod on her twice. And so she was like really, like she was like really crying behind her mask, and she was shaking, and her arm was up and her leg was splayed out. So she could have broke her arm and her leg, and it was just horrible. And then this guy came in with his wife and said my wife hit her head and she's been unconscious for an hour. And when she regained consciousness, 20% consciousness, we brought her in because I couldn't wait for an ambulance any longer. So clearly they've been waiting over an hour for an ambulance. And he said that she'd had a brain tumor previously and had sections of her brain removed, so he was really worried about her. And again, she should have gone straight in, but no, she didn't. They just kept her waiting in the waiting room. And I'm thinking, these people, this person who lost consciousness, she's most likely to die if any of us out of the room, I would have thought. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, why don't they just see her? But no, she had to wait a turn like everyone else. I just don't understand it. It was really quite stressful for me. It's quite traumatic being there. Those are the two worst incidents there, but there was other people. It was quite crowded, but I was there was perspex either side of me, so I was kind of like quite safe in the perspex. But it was very traumatic seeing people in distress like that. I just want to get the hell out of there. It's making me feel really, like, not very well. I think it was making me feel a bit panicky, which probably wasn't helping my breathing really. And that's when I went to the triage nurse and ended up in the COVID hot room, then ended up with the doctor finally listening to what I had to say and diagnosing me, testing me on different points on my body, and said, yeah, it's actually a muscle problem. I don't think it's a fracture, because a fracture would be just in one place and you've got it in several parts of your body. But I said there's one particular place under my armpit and my ribs that's really, really hurting more than anything. And when I went to the walking centre that day, they suggested that my ribs had been fractured. And I said about an x-ray, and he said, we don't x-ray ribs anymore. So I don't know why he said that. But when I dialed Devon Doctors on call before I went there, they're the ones that booked me into the hospital. Like, told them to expect me. they said I need a chest x-ray, but the bloke didn't. The doctor in the end said, I don't need any x-rays, it's a muscle problem. I actually did a COVID test while I was there in the hospital after she said about blood tests. I said no to that, but I said I'll happily do a COVID test. And she's like, oh, you're really good at doing that. I'm like a pro now. But before I left, when the guy said it's a muscle thing, but because she got fibromyalgia, it's basically made the pain 10 times worse than it would a normal person. So you've got like the muscle pain, because of all coughing, plus you've got the fibromyalgia pain, which is just exacerbates like tenfold. Fibromyalgia is a pain in the ass, to be honest. I mean, I've had it since 2012. I'll never get rid of it. It's a chronic pain condition that does affect the nerves and muscles of the body, and it's always hard, when you've got pain, extra pain on top. But I knew that this extra pain on top is obviously worse than my fibro, but what he said is the fibro is making it worse. 10 times worse, because I even got told by a doctor a long time ago that whatever you experience in terms of injury in something, usually fibro magnifies it by tenfold, 10 times. And so it's a really difficult condition, like it took me in 2012, it took me 6 months to come to terms with the fact I got a disability for life. There's nothing I can do about it. That's partly why a really big thing why I love living on my own, because I have very special needs in terms of anxiety, in terms of special dietary requirements, in terms of like trauma I've been through, in terms of like fibromyalgia. There's a lot of things that I help look after myself. Plus there's stuff I don't want to do, like housework. I refuse to do housework for a bloke anymore. If I ever get into a relationship, which I'm not interested in the moment, but if I did, I don't want to be doing any housework, because just standing up doing washing up hurts me, my body, and I'm done with that. My life, I want to just enjoy it and have as much fun as possible. While I'm here to live it, I do not want to be doing extra work for a guy. If a guy comes to my place ever, he's like cook, clean, wash up after himself. Because I'm really not interested in doing that. It's just not worth it. It would literally lower my quality of life, and and I don't want that. I've got enough stress as it is. So if I ever do get a partner in the future, they've got damn well be really understanding and know that I'm not going to be doing cooking, clean, or anything for them like that. I'm give them emotional support, love them with all my heart, be very loyal and faithful to them. If I get a good guy, because if I don't get a good guy, I'm staying single forever, right? But I won't be doing all that physical stuff for them. They can do that stuff for themselves, and if they can do it, if they want to cook for me and clean for me, that's a bonus. My friend Andy, who is amazing, he was looking after me throughout my time when I had my broken ankle, and he did cooking and cleaning for me and hoovering and washing floors, all sorts of stuff, and he doesn't mind doing stuff like that. He's quite happy to do like stuff that women would usually traditionally do. He loves doing that. It makes him happy. He loves being helpful. So I really need he said I need someone like him in terms of romance. We're not suitable relationship wise, but he's into guys, but I'm too feminine. Too female, and plus he's not asexual. So well, he thought he was at one point, but he's not. So he likes sex with guys. But yeah, so basically, yeah, he's really good though. He'll do housework or anything. He's like, oh, you need a guy like this because it would really help you with your fibro. I'm like, well, I'm not specifically looking for a guy who does housework, but actually it would be a huge bonus, and you're probably right. Because I'm a business girl. I'm not into housework at all, so I'm the business person, I like to be busy all the time, 24/7, 365 days a year, doing fun stuff and business stuff. Good mixture. So anyway, yeah, so this doctor diagnosed me and said, you've got this muscle problem point to point. Your fibros make it 10 times worse. You're a goddess, Sandra. You deserve someone who treat you right. Mwah! Love you, Liam. Thank you so much for that. I do deserve someone who treat me right, like both the guys last year, neither of them treat me right, both didn't properly appreciate me. Both were like no good for me, I was thinking about that today, or yesterday, I should say, it's just like, but anyway, it's their loss at the end of the day, they've lost a beautiful person in me who would have loved them with all their heart, been very faithful, loyal, and who would have been great for them. But if they can't see that and they just mucked everything up, and that's their problem, and at the end of the day, you know what I mean? I'm happier on my own, being single, living my life, Sometimes guys, it's really annoying. They act like they're the ones that have got their only life, and it's like, hello, just because I'm female doesn't mean to say I haven't got a good life of my own, because I friggin' will have. But I've got even a better life now. I'm single and staying single and not focusing on dating relationships anymore, because it's like my career can take off now. I've got my whole career ahead of me, which is what I'm gonna do and live my blimmin' dreams. I'll tell you, I'm really loving 2022 already. I mean, it's sad in a way that I haven't got romantic love, but at the end of the day, I'm gaining so much more. I'm gaining like my career, my book publishing business. I'm gaining helping asexuals more. I'm going to be doing, like, when I finish the Asexual Guide to Sex, I'm going to be publicising that so much. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited. There's a children's book publishing course that I was thinking about buying as well, because I haven't really said much to you, but I do love publishing kids. I do love writing kids' books for 3 to 5 year olds. I don't want kids myself, because I'm like a kid purposely, but I don't want kids myself. But I like writing children's picture books for 3 to 5 year olds, and I wrote 2 years ago that's not been published. But there's a course that I saw via another channel to do with publishing, and apparently it's got $50 off it. I just saw it like half an hour before I came on here. And so, I was going to get it anyway, probably. So I'm going to get it, soon, very soon, because the offer ends on the 15th. So I'm like really looking forward to that, because I'm literally going to grow my book publishing business and do as many of the books, all of the books that I can possibly do, that I want to do. Like Asexual Guide to Sex is my next one, and then I've got another one for asexuals after that. Well, I've got more than one, but the next one, the third book, I've got people messaging me, like someone went on my Facebook yesterday saying, what's happening to the other book? Are you still doing that? Because they want to be in it. I'm like, yes, I'm still doing the other book. I've got a couple of people that are begging me, like, when you getting on with that? That's the third book. But with the Asexual Guide to Sex, I need to promote it solidly for 3 months, because that book is going to be life changing for asexuals, because I'm going to be pushing it out to the sexual market as well, because I need to get asexuality recognized as a sexual orientation in its own right globally among sexuals, so no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. That is my life mission given to me by God, world, planet, universe, whatever you believe in. They're idiots. They will realize they have lost a valuable, beautiful, intelligent person. I would love to be in a relationship with you if I wasn't aromantic. Love you, Liam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sweetheart. I really appreciate that. I know you care about me, even though you're aromantic. I really appreciate you being here and supporting me. Yeah, it is their loss. I do love myself, and I do think I'm a really beautiful, kind, caring person, And I think it's sad that they did that to me, both of them, Both of them weren't good, in slightly different ways. But at the end of the day, like, it's horrible when some people cry wolf. They like push you away. The thing they really want the most, they push away it, and they end up being toxic instead of good for you. And it's like, like, if only they'd gone the other way, if only they'd seen the beauty of the person in front of them, and what a life they could have had with that person, and treat that person really well with tender loving care and respect and best friendship and soulmateship, instead of both of them acting the way they did. They're both acting not good towards me. But I did the right thing, I'm gone from their life now. I'm blocked, it would be harder for them to get hold of me. So, and it's good for me, because eventually the right guy should show up, who can be strong for me, who won't bullshit me around and play stupid games, who will literally wouldn't even dream of me being out of his life, who will literally be strong guy I need him to be, who will like an older girl, who'll be like, yeah, my older girl, like, she's my girl. I'm not really older though, am I? I'm very young, birth certificate age, I don't give a toss about. And so, they'll be so happy to be with beautiful, gorgeous girl, and they'll just be like wanting to tell their friends about it, and they'll be so happy, and they'll treat me with respect and love. Their loss, exactly, Liam. It is their loss. It is their loss. I'm still healing, if I'm honest. I'm still trying to get over both of them, actually, because with me being hyper romantic, my feelings don't completely just go like that overnight. It doesn't work like that for me. Usually when I've got feelings for someone, it takes me 8 months to just feel friendship for that person. That's in the best case scenario. Usually, sometimes I never completely, if this person came back, I would still have the same feelings, which is why I want to stay away from them, because they're no good for me, and And so, it is, I'm still healing from both of those, which is why I don't want to be pursuing anything else. Because it's just, it's a shame. It's a shame both of them did that, but like, they did what they did, didn't they? Good luck to them, I say. Getting someone else, if that's the way you treat people, they're gonna have to try and change the way they treat people if they're either of them, if they want to be in a loving, caring, committed relationship with a really nice person in the future for them. They just both of them need to change their ways, but never mind. That's up to them, innit? Anyway, yes, I'm gonna tell you now what I did to heal my rib pain in 3 days. I'm so excited, right? Some of it you'll be expecting, the final thing you won't, okay? So, I'm allergic to a lot of medicines. The only things I can take are ibuprofen and paracetamol. When I had, these are specifically from Boots Pharmacy in the UK. I am saying they're Boots because that brand suits me, right? So I don't like taking pain meds. I really, really hate taking pain meds because I don't like taking any sort of tablets. But I had to try and get my pain under control, right? So I can't take these together anymore. So in the past, I've been told, like with extreme pain, I can have paracetamol and ibuprofen together. But when I broke my ankle back in April, I broke it on the 17th, but I didn't actually get diagnosed at the hospital till the 22nd of April. And I didn't have any painkillers till the time I went just before I went to the hospital, because when I phoned up Devon Doctors on call, they said, oh, the doctor's going to manipulate your ankle and you'll be in a lot of pain, so make sure you take painkillers first. So they told me to take them. But afterwards I went to the hospital. The guy's like, oh yeah, you should be taking both of these. You can take them together, right? But I couldn't, because after 3 days, I worked out my tummy was feeling really bad. I didn't know what was going on. And my tummy was spasming because I was having these at the same time. And I can't take codeine, because if I take any sort of codeine, even a little amount, my tummy goes straight into spasms. I've had to be at the doctor's before the next day to get an up all night, because I've had to get a tablet to counteract the spasms that wouldn't stop from the codeine. The doctor was a nightmare years ago. He gave me a low dose of codeine when I told him I'm allergic to it because I couldn't have it before. So, anyway, so now I can take this. It's like one every 8 hours, because it's like maximum strength ibuprofen. And I have to wait 2 hours before I start taking like paracetamol in between. So I have to have like this 8 hours and then only 8 hours. But 2 hours after I've had that, I can have 2 of these. So that's how I was doing it. So, and I was writing stuff down. I got a piece of paper and was writing it down. It's like all the times and dates that I was having it, just to make sure I don't overdose myself. Right, so that's what I was doing then. And then the other thing I was doing, I was going in the shower and I was putting it on really, really, really hot heat on the pain source, and was trying to do a bit of exercise. So I was actually doing a few exercises like this to try and like ease my muscle, but in really, really the hottest heat I could stand. That was hard because that did hurt. But when I've had my ankle injury, the physio said you have to start moving it as soon as possible so it doesn't seize up and cause problems. So I thought I'm going to try and do some exercises in a really boiling hot shower, right, as much as possible. I finish it off with cold anyway. I don't end with hot. Usually I end with cold. So the other thing, this is really good product. I'm not getting paid to say about these products, by the way. I just need to tell you, I use this Bell's Muscle Rub, right? I used to be able to get this from Poundland. I'm not sure if they stopped doing it. Now this has got like natural stuff in, like birch oil and stuff like that. So it's got a lot of natural. Bell's is the name of the company that produce it, I think. Muscle Rub. And this is a special one because it's got a lot of natural products and like birch and lots of oily stuff in there. But it is like a greeny, well, this one's white, but it used to be a greeny colour, so I think they've slightly changed it. But basically, you're only supposed to put a tiny bit on. I literally plaster this all over my shoulders here, down the back of me here. So I do it like you're not supposed to do it. So I have to say, I'm not a medical practitioner. I'm not a doctor. Please speak to a medical practitioner or doctor before you use any of this stuff, because I am not a pharmacist or anything like this. This is just what I've personally done that helps me. But you have to speak to a professional doctor or any medical expert to be diagnosed with your condition and obviously what to use on it. This is just what's helped me. This is not what the recommended amount is. Like, the recommended amount is just a little bit on your finger, not to get a whole lot and plaster it all around it. But I've had to do it before, and this works well. But I did use a rub at my mum's place, and it didn't do anything. It didn't work at all. I did that on New Year's Day. It did nothing. Right? So the final thing, which I think is the thing that actually did it, which most people wouldn't think of doing, they wouldn't consider doing, and they usually definitely wouldn't do, because it's not normal and it's something that's very strange, right? But it works because it's something I did with my ankle. But it's not something you would usually do with an armpit in bed at night, right? And this is what I used under my armpit. This is an ice pack, right? With a piece of kitchen roll. This is the exact top I was wearing. This is an Eeyore top, by the way. Look at this, an Eeyore top. And I can't put it right under, well, I could put it right under, but you're going to see like my flesh and might see my boobs and stuff, which I don't want. So basically, I got it like this. I'm going to do it under there because I've got a nightshirt under here, and I put it under my arm, but under the nightshirt, and I just slept with it like that all night. So the freezing cold is against my ribs, and it's got a piece of kitchen roll, but a lot of the time the kitchen roll was coming off in the night, and I would literally sleep, because I usually sleep on my left-hand side, which is where the pain was, and I would literally sit with it there all night and go to sleep with it for hours, and I wake up in the middle of the night like 4 hours later, and it would like be a lot more softer with broken up ice. But I believe this is what took a load of the inflammation down, because this, along with bigger ice packs, is what I was using on my foot, and so it really, really works. It just takes the inflammation really down. I used this for 3 nights in a row. Last night I didn't use it, but the Monday night, I believe, Tuesday night and Wednesday night I used it. And yeah, it worked. You know, the pain was just going down until now. In the daytime, I bet, you know, it was a bit sore last night because I didn't use this ice pack at all. So I thought I'd see how it went without that ice pack, so it still was a bit sore. But yeah, so this, you know, like this is, you know, this is like real ice. But yeah, that's what did it. But most people will be like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's going to be freezing cold. I'm not doing that. But it's like, do you want to get better and get it better quickly? Or do you want to just have weeks and weeks of pain, inflammation, and not be able to do sweet FA? You know, in life, if you want to change your life, you have to do things you've never done before, things that are hard, things that are weird, things that are strange, in order to help yourself in life to get better. So many people will say, oh, I can't get better, I can't do anything. And, you know, that might be me sometimes. I might say, oh my God, I don't know what to do, you know, because I didn't, because I went to A&E, right? And I was thinking, okay, I've got an asexual meetup, a big in-person meetup this Saturday, the 8th, right? This Saturday. And I'm like, how am I going to get better as much as possible for this Saturday? And how am I going to get better quickly? Because I can't be in this state. It's just horrible for me. And I can't stand it. And also I rested. The sick thing is I rested for 3 days. And I didn't do any housework apart from put washing on. Because I literally washed my clothes from the hospital. I washed my coat from the hospital, all my clothes from the hospital, without putting them on again. I've literally yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before, I washed all my bags as well that I took, that was at the hospital. So everything that was in the COVID hot room has been washed, disinfected. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, that was exposed. I'm like, you know, and me as well, you know, disinfected basically, or antibacterialized, I should say, from head to foot. So, you know, and yeah, so people wouldn't do this. Like, how many people would do that? They'd be like, I'm not sitting with the ice pack at night, I'm freezing. But no, I don't actually get free. It's really weird. I don't actually freeze from it. I don't know why. It's really weird. It's like my body seems to like ice, because the natural thing is put heat source on it. But I was using heat at my mum's and dad's. I was using muscle rub and that didn't work. But, you know, in order to counteract, you know, you counteract some of the coldness, I can make a hot water bottle. Like one or two of the nights I had a hot water bottles as well. But I can't press on them, so I can't have them touching my body because it hurt too much. But I have them next to me. I know the final night I did. I don't know if I had it for 2 out of 3 nights, but I had them next to me. This is hot water bottle, by the way. And it says I love Sandra on it. Oh, it's so cute. My mum bought me this years ago, Hippo. And then this is my other hot water bottle, which is Eeyore. So yeah, so these two go by the side. I would usually hug them, but I couldn't because there's too much pain. but I just put them by the side so it would at least keep the outer part of my blanket warm, so that hopefully it would, like, you know. And I think I kept the window mostly shut. I think I might have actually completely shut it, which I don't usually do, because I wanted to make sure I didn't get cold. But look, this is fleecy. This here is fleecy, see? And I have got a t-shirt underneath, but this goes underneath this, so it is a bit against bare skin, bare flesh. But I had this on. Now this is like a fleecy thermal eat-all thing, you see? And so look, with its flappy ears, woo, flappy ears, woo, love it, love it. So yeah, this is like, yeah, so this is fleecy, so this is quite warm anyway. So I would recommend, if you do it, to use something warm like that, so you've still got some kind of thermal thing there. But even if you can't do that, it's better still to have it. So yeah, the ice, I think, is literally the icing on the cake, if you like. This is what literally, I think, just took all the inflammation down and really made it better, because this is what I was using on my ankle. Incidentally, my ankle has been hurting a little bit more lately, because I've been like not able to get out much. Like I went out today, well, a few hours ago, I should say now, to do some food shopping, and I was worried it was going to set the pain off again, because I've purposely not been doing, not been stretching myself and pulling myself much, because it's just going to cause more damage and bring the damage back. I need to rest for 3 days. But I'm pleased to say that even though I carried shopping trolley full of stuff and I hauled it up the stairs, that yeah, I still was okay. So far as I go. But sometimes with my fibro, it's a delayed reaction, the next day I can get, but that's usually a fibro thing more than anything else, so I was just really happy. And yeah, so I just was so happy that I found this. So I wanted to share it with you, because obviously if you got muscle pain yourself, maybe because there's a lot of viruses going around besides COVID at the moment, if you've got severe muscle pain, if you have the same problem as me, try the ice. I know it's something you probably don't want to do, and you're probably going to think it's really strange, and you're probably going to freak out about it, but do it, because if you want to get better, you have to try different things if what you're doing is not working. People go their whole life and they're like, oh, it's, they do the same thing over and over again that just doesn't work, and then they think, well, my life's the same, nothing's changing. But in order to change your life, you have to change your life. It's not up to someone else to do it for you, it's up to you to do it for you. And you have to be solution focused. Throughout 2012, that's when I was diagnosed with fibro. 2022, I need you to focus on the solution, not the problem. So be solution focused for the whole of this year. Being solution focused is something that it makes a major shift and change in your life. If you focus on a problem, so if I kept focusing on, right, I've got a problem with the virus, which I was focusing on before, I was focusing on, I've got all this pain, I don't know what to do, I'm in agony, I don't know how to solve the problem. But going to the hospital was a shock I needed to think, God, I can't go back there again. What am I going to do to get better now? Like, I need to get myself better. What's the solution? And I thought, pain, like the heat hasn't, because everyone thinks heat will take the swelling down, will take the pain down. But with my ankle, that wasn't the case. It was constant ice packs for hours, because they recommend you just leave your ice pack on for 20 minutes. I mean, I was sleeping, like I said, I was sleeping with this for hours. Just hours. Because it works if you do it for hours, because it just numbs the pain, it numbs it takes the swelling down and numbs the pain, and that's what you need. So I just thought I'd share it, because it might help other people. And this muscle rub's really good, by the way. It's the best one I've ever tried, I think. There is another one that my mum got me, which is for fibro, actually. I will just pick it up. This is good as well. This is made of natural ingredients, like 7 natural ingredients. So this is, I've used this as well. Advanced 7, it's called. Soothing massage gel. Green clay, horsetail, essential oils, rosemary, peppermint, thyme, and other stuff in it, So that is a good one as well. But I haven't used that this time around. I like this because it tends to heat up a little. This does tend to heat up a little bit, ironically. So you've got the cold from the muscle rub, and then I put this on my shoulders while I had this under my armpit. So I was kind of like trying to get all the pain covered between the two. But this works wonders. Like, it's really incredible. The difference it makes. And so, like most people wouldn't think of putting ice on a problem like that. So anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. I really appreciate you being here, Liam, and everyone else. I'm gonna love you and leave you for now and get some rest and probably watch a movie or chill out for a bit. And or I've got lots of stuff to do, but I kind of need to chill out a bit, I think. Anyway, I'm gonna love you and leave you for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share it with someone who may benefit from it, especially if they have got problems with their ribs and their muscles and they've been coughing a lot like I was and they've got a lot of pain, severe pain. Please show them this video and ask them to try it out with obviously the permission of a medical practitioner, doctor, etc. Because I'm not that and I'm not qualified to give you that advice. I'm just saying what works for me, and it's up to you what you do with that information. So anyway, yes, please subscribe if you haven't already and hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live. Right now I'll post a new video. Lovely to see you, Liam. Lots of love to everyone else too. I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Bye. Lots of love. Bye.